I forgot to do the intro video, Rob.
Ah,
I'm sorry.
Nobody cares about that.
See, this is what happens, Rob, when you ask me to button press. I don't know what I'm doing in the nicest possible way. I am.
Is that? Do we have to break into song with that one?
I'll tell you what. Wait. Look, I've got that one right. So like the video, subscribe, press the bell icon to notify yourself when we do things and what's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know where the video is.
You don't what? You mean this one?
This one. I've got it that way.
You mean that? Oh, you haven't turned that off?
No, so listen, calm yourself down. Now, look, we're back. Right? Listen, it don't matter. It don't matter. There's two people watching. The poor
Nobody cares.
They don't know what's going on. They're hoping for the best, aren't they? How you doing, my friend?
Well, you might have seen that my surroundings have changed somewhat. Well, I suppose as the crow flies, it's not a million miles away. No, we're in Norfolk at the minute. We came here yesterday. We got here basically when the game kicked off, and I just to sort of like tie it in with sort of what we're here talking about now. 2 o'clock, the teams were announced, and I found it very difficult to keep control of the car when I realised that a certain Arthur Masuaku was in the starting lineup. I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" And I thought, well, Ben Johnson's got to be, his injury's got to have flared up again or something like that. And he's like, "No, he's on the bench." I'm like, "What? I mean, Masuaku? Seriously? Is that the best we could do?" Walshy, you well, mate?
Mark and Walshy are in the chat.
And Mark.
They were the two that saw us absolutely nose up. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Me absolutely nose up the beginning of the show. But never mind. It don't matter. It don't matter, Rob. It don't matter. Can be forgiven for too much alcohol and food over Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, it was birthday? To be honest with you. Yeah, it was nice day. We had too much to eat, too much to drink. Sat down and watched the Queen's speech. I fell asleep slightly after that. Standard day, really.
Same old, right?
Sat there in me boxer shorts and me string vest.
All right, Rabsy, calm yourself down. No one needs to know.
Can a tenant super?
So, Rob, I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
I don't know why I feel like I'm hosting this, considering you're still sitting there. But anyway, don't matter.
We can swap over if it makes you feel better.
I'm wearing this, right? I know I wear these shirts a lot, right? I've got a couple of new West Ham bits from Christmas, but I'm wearing this because I've got to be honest with you. Part of me feels like I'm done with football at the minute.
Don't say that.
I feel like I'm not done with West Ham. I'm just done with football at the minute. Okay. I just felt so. The word to use.
Deflated.
Despondent. I felt so just shit yesterday. I was convinced, right? Woke up yesterday morning, potted around, did a few bits around the house, finding wrapping paper in parts of the house that I didn't even know we'd open presents in at one point. And I was excited. I was buzzing. Like, here we go. The missus was jumped in the bar. The kids were playing with their toys and watching some shit on Disney Plus in Encanto. This new, anyway, it's quite good. Okay. I ended up catching the tail end of it in the evening. And I was excited. I was like, oh, phone pinged up, and I had a quick look, and it was obviously Hammer's chat going live. The reminder that they're going to go live shortly. So banging. That means the team sheets are coming out soon. So I was backwards and forwards with the boys in the chat, my brother and such. And I was excited, Rob. I was excited for yesterday. I was like, this is where we turn it around. This is it. So I had a little listen to Gio because obviously Gonzo was going to the game yesterday. So I had a little bit of listening to Gio.
You went corporate, I saw.
Did. With a couple of Patreons as well, which was nice.
Can't be bad.
And I ran in at Gio come on, had a little listen. He announced the team lineups, and between YouTube and WhatsApp, I was what the actual God's green earth is that man starting again for. Now, I was fully behind the rest of the lineup, Rob. I was actually quite excited for the rest of the lineup.
That was the weak link, wasn't it, though, that you looked at straight away and went.
And Gio said exactly the same thing, mate, is that Hasenhüttl saw that come out and he pretty much either knew that was going to be the case or tore up his game plan because he realised that that Moisey had been a fool. Trudge has just joined us. Good morning, sir.
Hello, mate.
Like you say, you nearly crashed the car. Like I nearly threw my phone across the other side of the bedroom. I was that annoyed, miffed, pissed off, call it what you will.
Yeah.
That man got into the team again. And before we carry on, he did not disappoint, Rob, did he? He did not. I
suppose it depends upon which way you want to look at it. If you're sort of like looking for a player to plumb the depth of mediocrity,
get rid of the banner.
Did he disappoint in that regard? Then no, he didn't. No, he was. And there was a slide that I've that you've sort of like got on that we'll come to. But I don't think it's any coincidence that when you look at where Southampton's attacks were coming down, 43% came down their right, our left. Now, to me, I just look at that and go, listen, Ralph Hasenhüttl is no mug. Okay, he will look for, right, where is the weak link? And when you look at that starting lineup, the weak link is there in bold letters with a line under it in neon lights. It's there in the left back spot, and his name is Arthur Masuaku. Now, I'm fairly confident that as soon as the team sheets were announced, Ralph Hasenhüttl turned around to his players and said, at every opportunity you get, go down their left. That is where their weakness is, go down their left. And as I say, if you look at the slide that you've got, where the attacked sides were coming, where each team attacked, 43% of Southampton's attacks came down their right flank, our left. That's not a coincidence. That was by design.
But does that tell you a lot, though, Rob? Let's come on.
Of course it does. Tells you that he's shit.
But
tells you that he's shit, which we all know.
That must tell you, though, that you've just said there, you just used the words that Hasenhüttl is no mug. And he's seen that name. That says to me, then, that Moyes is a mug for persisting with him.
Whoa, I'm not saying that Moyes is a mug because I don't know why he picked him. I'm trying to find a way. You know, did Ben Johnson have a knock? Possibly. But the thing is that he had Harrison Ashby and Ryan Fredericks on the bench as well. Now, are you telling me that you couldn't, even if they're right footers, you telling me that between those four other fullbacks in Ryan Fredericks, Ben Johnson, Harrison Ashby, and Vladimir Kufal, that one of them couldn't have turned around and said, I tell you what, I'll play on the left. I'm better than him. Because I'm absolutely certain that any one of them would be better than Arthur Masuaku.
I would have picked your daughter at left back yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to your daughter.
Tell you what, right? I'd have picked this at left back, and I'm not actually too sure what it is. I think it's some sort of clothes hanger. I'd have put that at left back ahead of Arthur Masuaku. That's how bad he is.
All right, I was going to jump in before we both get a bit on Arthur.
Angry?
Simon's in the chat.
Simon, hope you're well.
We've also got, Trudge says, I missed the match. First one I've missed watching, full things in years. And then he also sends, sounds like I was lucky. Yes.
Yeah, same here.
Mate. I watched it from the off. I wish I hadn't. Hannah said Masuaku was a mug. Don't listen. We'll cover that shortly. Simon, I've just watched your match. 11-man park the bus Southampton and the time wasted. Mate, they were time wasting from 9 minutes. They
but you don't blame them for that though. That's the thing. Is in their situation, and I believe that they're up to yesterday. You know, and I don't know how the rest of the season's going to pan out, but they were getting dragged towards the wrong end of the table. And their record against us, especially at London Stadium, is pretty bad. 8 minutes in, they find themselves 1-0 up. What do you expect them to do? They did the right thing. Pissed us off.
But I think the referee should have been more on that case as well. I think the referee gave them. Simon, I'll cover that a bit later as we go through. Trod says, I'm glad I missed it because all the paranoia about the weird officiating. Come to that again in a bit. Hammerhead, long time. No. Oh, hang on. What's that not worked? What's going on? Long time doing Gates. Hope you both well and had a lovely Christmas. Shame back the game. It did indeed, sir.
Cheers, Hammerhead. Appreciate it. And likewise, hope you had a good Christmas.
Without a doubt. Trod says, starting to twist me up into some kind of conspiracy theorist. You know what? Yeah, again, I'm gonna touch on a couple of things that were mentioned.
Everybody loves a good conspiracy theory, don't they?
I saw the Antonio interview. You know what? Again, let's not. I'll come back to it because I don't want to go down the road of Sky Sports.
Should we talk about JFK?
Don't want to. I've got. Listen, don't even. That's you.
You said conspiracies.
3 years. 3 years, and they should allow a lot of the documents from the Warren Commission to be released because I think it was 50 years, which would have taken us to
2013.
2013. Then they added a 10 or 15 year block on that. So I think it takes us to about 4 or 5 years, and we can actually see some of those. But enough of that. Andy says, I'm lost for words.
He must be married to his daughter. Must be married. He must be his son-in-law. Has to be. What other reason is there?
If Masuaku's his son-in-law, shouldn't he be stopping him from playing for the club, allegedly? Anyway, speaking of allegedly, did anyone see that gentleman get sent off for his petulant actions yesterday? Ooh!
Which one?
Ooh! Mr. Wilfred.
Oh! He's a man-child.
Very, very petulant. I mean, on the yellow card, the first one, listen, they're both running back. For me, I felt like he deliberately trod on the back of his foot down his kind of heel. So it's a yellow for me. The second one, Sanchez knows what he's doing, and he's wound Zaha up so much that Zaha decides to grab him and throw him to the floor. It's petulant, but I love it. It's amusing because that's exactly the sort of person that I see Zaha as. Trod says Masuaku does turnover possession. Yes. The Norwich fans in. He obviously.
Oh, Elliot. Yeah, that was.
He's probably about as.
I'm not a million miles away from there at the minute, mate.
You're not.
No.
Perna says, "How did West Ham get beaten? They scored more goals than us." Perna, to be honest with you. Quite simply.
Done.
And Trod says Zaha wastes 90% of his energy moaning. Agreed. Listen, I'm going to just cover the first half in very rapid because after the game I did drink and if I'm honest, I've forgotten most of it and I weren't going back and watching it again because I didn't want to put myself through it, Rob. I'm not going to lie.
Don't blame you.
Listen, we went 1-0 down and Southampton started the time waste. And you know what? I felt that there was two things that Hasenhüttl set them up to do yesterday, Rob. And it was, first things first was to attack down the left. And as you say, we'll come across that in a minute. And on the other side, he also, getting a foot race with the two centre-backs. Now, They targeted Dawson for the foot race. Let's not lie.
Yeah, of course.
And it was they came out on top. You know, if I may just quickly come back, Gatesy, I need to get rid of those two because you put them back on.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. Number 2. There's number 2. So I'm going to put that one up now. There you
Yep.
go. Southampton striker.
Slight deviation, wasn't it? Because I mean, Hasenhüttl is a big disciple of the 4-4-2 formation. So when he sort of put that out, a 4-1-4-1, I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, there's more pace in that team than we've got.
I said that Walcott would play, though, didn't I, in the pre-match?
El-Yanusi, Redmond, and Broya are swift bastards.
Yeah.
Let's not lie. And he essentially targeted. Our back centre back pairing because the lack of pace that's there. Richard, well,
yeah, I think it was.
Before.
Yeah, I think they had too much Christmas sherry, mate.
I'm not hungover enough to be doing this video as much as they were hungover to be playing the game yesterday. That's where I feel. Prediction for Palace from Everton, from Elliot. Sorry, 2-1 to Norwich. I hope you're right. In Palace. Richard, 20 games left, Perner. Yeah, it's getting a bit concerning.
Well,
now,
once we've finished the game at Watford, that will be exactly halfway through the season.
Well, that's if the Watford game goes ahead, Rob. There's a lot of oohing and ahhing at the minute, isn't there? I mean, listen. Trod just said it there. We need a playmaker like Ward-Prowse. I love Ward-Prowse.
We got a playmaker. His name's Manuel Lanzini, but he started it on the bench.
Again, that surprised me. Listen, I'm not going to say that his direct replacement in Fornals or in Benrahma played badly yesterday, because I don't think they did. I don't think they were like poor yesterday.
You don't think Fornals played badly?
I don't think he was poor. Okay, I think the whole team, the setup, I think the whole layout, I think the whole the brief that they would have been given at the start of the game, Rob, was the letdown. If I'm honest with you,
Fornals. Have you seen Fornals' pass statistics?
Probably not. That's your domain. You love all of that,
mate.
What was it?
I think his pass accuracy was 54% from memory. It was fucking awful. Seriously.
That's upsetting.
He's been bad since he's become a dad. I don't know if you've clocked that. It's basically been since he become a father, his form has just
fell off a cliff.
It's mate.
Because I rate him really highly. I love him to pieces. I absolutely love him to pieces. What we got here? Let's put number 4 up. I got to say, mate, that first half, I felt like we were pissing into the wind at times. I really did. I didn't see. I don't think Vlasic was bad again. I think he put in a shift. I was disappointed to see him come off, I've got to say.
I think a lot of people were.
I felt him and Bowen are getting a little bit of a connection up top now. If you notice that, there seems to be a lot of good stuff pertaining to those two going forward.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to see Vlasic play in the 10 role, with Bowen out wide, Vlasic in the 10. Take your pick who plays on the left, because at the moment it ain't great from any of them, although I have to defend Benrahma, and I don't know why he was taken off yesterday. That annoyed me.
Really? I'll be honest, I didn't think he offered that much other than the goal, if I'm being completely honest, what I saw.
I'll be honest with you, a lot of his, again, and I peg a lot of this onto Masuaku, sorry, is the fact that a lot of Benrahma's movement, his runs off the ball, etc., were not being found by Masuaku. It's that simple. He was finding everyone else other than Benrahma on the runs that Benrahma was making. Now, I watched, I think, 4 or 5 runs from Benrahma where Masuaku was pushed high up on the left. Masuaku either passed it out of play, passed it to the wrong West Ham player, or gave it straight back to...
Same old Masuaku.
Yeah. And again, I think that's affecting Benrahma's play. He's having that useless piece of shit behind
Possibly.
him because he's not being found like he should be. He's not being used in the same way that that you'd expect him to be used if Fornals was in that role on the left where Benrahma should be.
Yeah.
Because I feel that Benrahma needs to be further out wide to come into space to let go of a shot. I don't think he should play in a 10. But Fornals would find that pass. Cresswell would find that pass to, so it's wound me up a little bit. I have to say that the second half we came out, he made the 2 substitutions, didn't he? Yeah,
who do you think should have been given the Shepherds, though, Duke? I think we can probably agree that Fornals. Well, yeah. I might differ slightly from your opinion. From what I've heard of the first half performances and what I can see of the stats, because as I say, I couldn't see the first half because I was making the journey up here yesterday. Saw all of the second half, but I think a lot of people looked at the substitution of Fornals and went, yes, absolutely the right substitution to make. And the 2 players that came on were the players that should have come on. But I think a lot of people were quite puzzled as to why Vlasic was the one that got the shepherd's hook. And I think a lot of people were of the opinion that if anyone should have got hooked at half time along with Fornals, it should have been Benrahma, because Bowen and Vlasic up to that point were actually offensively having a really good game.
Listen, I can see why. Okay, I understand it. I'm slightly of a different opinion, but I can see why and I can understand it. If you want my honest opinion, and I find myself disagreeing with myself a little bit here. Because I feel that I kind of defended him a little bit. It's possible even Souček should have gone and been given the hook. He didn't offer us a great deal yesterday. Now, I peg a lot of this on Moyes. Okay, Moyes has changed something that wasn't broken from last season. Okay. And you've kind of nullified the threat that was Souček arriving late into the box. You've kind of nullified Souček getting forward.
Yeah.
Now,
but why?
That's Declan Rice.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that he's kind of. This is my suspicion that he's
trying to placate him.
Yeah, is that sort of, I think that Declan's gone to him possibly after the Euros and gone, I want to get forward a bit more, boss, blah, blah, blah. And that David Moyes has probably looked at it and thought, well, he's our best player. I've probably got to kind of give a little bit of ground on this, because if I don't, then I'm probably going to make him more unhappy or this, that, and the other. And he's kind of gone, okay, Dec. But the thing is that, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We got to 6th last season, and obviously a lot of that was because of Souček's performance, certainly in the first half of last season.
Double figures,
I think his role did change once Jesse Lingard came in. I think that there was a definite tweak in his role from Lingard's arrival. But I think that we kind of need to go back to what we did last season when Lingard wasn't in the team, because Lingard isn't in the team now.
Not in the team anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just like, well, let's get back to basics. Let's get back to what worked, because we're on a run now of 1 win in 7. Now, I don't care who you are. That is relegation form. That is not the form of a team that has aspirations of finishing 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. That's a team that's going to be fighting the drop. 1 in 7.
No, we're 3 points away from safety. Now, seeing as you brought that up, okay, I did message this gentleman on Facebook this morning. I said to you I was going to do this, okay. There's a gentleman called Mick Birch on West Ham United FC group on Facebook. And 4 hours ago, he posted something. Now, I have messaged him and asked him if I may quotes his tweet. His Facebook post. He hasn't replied, so I'm going to do it anyway. He's put it out there. It's on the World Wide Web.
In the public domain, and it wasn't a private message, I suppose.
Anyone can go and read it if they want. So I'm just going to read part of it to you. So he's put, "What a crazy bunch of fans we have. I've seen and heard so far, and so have I." I want to reiterate that what he's saying here isn't just a one-person job. I saw some of these go out on Twitter as well. Sack Moyes, get rid of Antonio, we're clueless, and GSB out. Listen, GSB out's been going forever and a day, but the others. For Christ's sake, since beating Liverpool, we've lost to Wolves where we were poor. We've beaten Rapid Vienna, lost to Man City tightly, drew 1-1 with Brighton, beat Chelsea, lost to Zagreb with the youth team, drew 0-0 with Burnley, lost 2-0 to Arsenal away, lost 2-1 to Tottenham in the Cup, and now we've lost at home to Southampton. But, 1, Brighton should have been a win, but a bad VAR cost us from going 2-0 up. Again, I'm inclined to agree with that. Burnley should have been a win. It was a bad VAR that cost us a penalty. I know you're of a slightly different viewpoint of that, Rob, but again, it's everyone's personal opinions on this. Arsenal, bad VAR cost us a player when we were getting a foothold. I'm not saying it would have been a different result, but he's right in what he says there. We were playing better up until that point. The aftermath of the sending off left us short. Performance as a whole was decent. Harry Kane should have been banned, and Tottenham were well rested due to 3 of their previous 7 games being cancelled. Listen, that's a fair point. I'm not gonna. I made that comment when we did the video, Rob, that I think Spurs have played the system slightly.
One of them was down to the weather, though.
Again, really shouldn't be down to the weather in Premier League football. With the amount of money that's thrown
snow.
In this game. Don't matter, mate. The way they were still pulling that snow off of there, that undersoil heating, if they haven't got any, they should have some, considering you're a Premier League club and have been for X amount of years now, Burnley. It's not like they only came up in the last 18 months, is it? Yeah. And then he goes on to say, today we're not great, although it was never a penalty in my opinion. Hold your noise a minute. Wait. It wasn't a clear and obvious error, so should not have been referred. He said, we're currently without 3 of the back 4. We're short of options up front, and we're novices to the stress and the strain inflicted by European football that we're learning. We're going through a soft takeover. We've invested more acutely than before. We've reduced the debt significantly, and we're looking to the future. We have a European adventure in front of us. We currently have the hottest player in the England team. We also have plans to improve the training facilities. We are exciting to watch, and we have a squad of players who want to play for the club. Then, as fans, we turn our home games toxic with the moaning. We plan protests, post media hate, troll, criticise everyone at the club. Then we expect things to improve. Yes, the form is patchy, but change them VAR decisions, and we could have another 5 points, and we could be in a cup semi-final. There is a time to criticise and analyse, and that's in the close season. But for now, we should unite as one behind the Hammers and be the 12th man again. One thing for sure, if you want success and any chance of Declan Rice staying, he will only contemplate that if we are united and positive. For fuck's sake, let's give him a bloody chance, as this atmosphere will decrease the confidence, morale, and camaraderie for sure. Now, I read that out, Rob, because I can't get behind the guy more for that. For me, I think he's pretty much nailed it. You know, there are some things that I feel we can be doing better as a club, and that is not playing Masuaku, because that is going to generate the negative comments. That is going to generate the bad stuff being written. You know, we've questioned Moyes so far this morning, haven't we? You know. Yeah,
but I wouldn't ever advocate Moyes out. I mean, that is patently ridiculous. I can criticise him on an individual match basis. I can criticise him as any fan can and say, what are you picking that player for? What are you playing this formation for? Why are you making these substitutions? that's fine. But I could never ever, as things stand at the minute, even despite the fact 1 win in 7, I can't say Moyes out. That is patently ridiculous. And anyone that says that is just, I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't.
No, I mean, George says there half of them are.
Yes, no, I would say all of them are.
I'm at a point. Oh, there's Ian. Hello,
Ian. Hope you're well, mate.
I agree with what Ian says there about anyone losing our back line. Look at Liverpool. Yeah.
True.
Just gonna pull them up. Now, what I will say is, based on what Mr. Birch says, Mick Birch says there, is that we, as a fan base, you know what, 6 or 7 games ago, 8 games ago, and we were all claiming that Antonio was gonna he was gonna win the Golden Boot this season.
Yeah.
Now look, everyone's banging on about get rid of Antonio. I saw one yesterday. I don't think I sent it to you, Rob. I've got a copy. I sent it to someone else. Send it to you later, saying that we should get rid of Thomas Souček. He offers us nothing.
Wow.
He's a passenger in games. He offers us nothing, and he actually costs us more than he offers. Christ Almighty!
Wow.
What is it? And you've used the phrase before. These knee-jerk reactions, Rob. This is why we don't do the videos, and we discussed this before, you and I. This is why we don't do the videos directly after the game.
Yeah.
This is why we don't, because I'm a very emotional person, and yesterday I was angry, pissed off,
kick the cat?
angry. I didn't, because it was the in-laws' cat, and I don't think they would have appreciated it. But I was angry. I was pissed off, and if I'd come on to do a video with you last night, I would have been no better than some of the people that I've seen posting stuff on Facebook. The time to calm down, the time to reflect and to actually sort your emotions out gives us the better opportunity to do a video the next day, because
Agreed.
I just feel that any knee-jerk reaction to this shit is unwarranted and unneeded. Now, I sit back now thinking of yesterday's game, and our tactics let us down. Our lineup, including Arthur Masuaku,
when you say tactics, I mean, how do you mean? Because I
saw
think
a lot of hoofball yesterday, Rob.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of hoofball yesterday. I saw a lot of, I say a lot of, I saw Allardyce ball yesterday at points. A lot of long balls over the top, or long balls into players, especially in the first half. We didn't do it in the second half. Now, in the first half, we had Vlasic and we had Bowen rotating that front position, because I saw Bowen up top a few times. I saw Vlasic up top a few times. Now, the time for rocket balls into body, into feet, long ball into the centre forward to attack headers, etc., is when you have Antonio on the pitch, when you've got someone who's going to bully a centre back. No disrespect, Bowen and Vlasic are not built that way. Okay, they have to play a different way. Now, when Antonio came on, he bullied, he was aggressive, he was again a beast. He was in beast mode for points yesterday. I think they switched him to end up attacking Bednarak, because Bednarak was like, ooh, like that. He was coming at him and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I think he dumped him on his ass and got booked for it at one point. Now, that being said, we can't keep fucking relying on that.
No.
Now, I've seen some stuff again on Facebook today, again on Twitter today. And just quickly, talking of Twitter, I just want to say congratulations, if they're watching, to Bex. Specky Blonde on Twitter, and Athers on the announcements of a new Hammers fan due at some point next year. So congratulations to both of those. We know what you've been up to. But you know, we know that's not. We've got to find a way, in my opinion, a plan B when Antonio doesn't play, Rob, because we try to do the same thing when Antonio's not on the pitch and it doesn't work. I said this so many times in videos when Antonio hasn't played and it doesn't work for us. If you're going to play a certain style, a certain way, you have to have a backup who is the same size, the same build, the same playing style, the same effect. If you want to get the same effect from one, you have to have a second. Now they're talking about Adam Hlošek. Have you seen Adam Hlošek, Casey? He reminds me of Jared Bowen in stature and size. Is he a Mikel Antonio? No, he's not. No. Is he going to be able to play like Antonio? No, he's not. But we're not going to learn because we don't change things. We don't change it for Bowen or Vlasic going up top. You ain't going to change it when Hlošek comes in. Onuachu at Genk, him. Lankson. Again, I haven't been impressed with him.
No. Here's a thought. Just going to throw this one out here. How about we push Thomas Soucek as the 9?
Mate, Trodger's just said it here.
And drop Lanzini back.
I'd rather play Soucek at centre-back than sell him. You know what?
Centre-back. Oh, right.
He'd rather play him at centre-back than get rid of him.
Yeah.
And again, I agree. But again, yesterday, I was like, why are we not playing a 4-4-2? When we're in a situation like we were yesterday, and I put it in the boys' chat, 4-4-2. Kieran.
Hello, mate.
Why are we not going 4-4-2 with Soucek and Antonio up top? At that point, it was Lanzini with Rice. You had Benrahma, you had Bowen out on the wings. Why were you not? Why was that not your first go-to? Before anything else, why was that not your first go-to? Masuaku at one point, we had a free kick, 50 yards. He had 50 yards of space. And what he did was hit the first man with a cross. 50 yards.
Yeah.
50 yards, and he's managed to hit the first man. I don't get it. I don't. You could work it in your favour. There you go. You can work it in your favour with the likes of Antonio and Soucek up front. That you can pump balls into the box because Soucek is actually Soucek is better at being Andy Carroll than Andy Carroll was at being Andy Carroll. Is that Soucek will win balls and crosses, whereas a lot of our crosses into the box, I didn't see Carroll get anywhere near them. So Soucek can out Carroll, in my opinion. So
fair enough.
There's your plan B, Rob. There's your plan B is going Soucek up front, like you say, put him in a 9. I'd actually put him as a straightforward 4-4-2. Now, the gentleman has just arrived in the chat, and I'm going to call bullshit on his comment. Call bullshit on his comment. Now, no disrespect, Cyber, and I love you. I'm not going to agree with this, and I'm not going to agree with our run of form being down to the defence, and I'll tell you why. That's our third and fourth choice centre-backs in all of this, okay? And I think they're doing an admirable job at the back. Our forward line are the ones that are letting us down right now. The likes of Bowen. And listen, Bowen's been playing his bollocks off, and I won't say a bad thing about Bowen, but we're not scoring or creating the opportunities that we should be. Bowen, Benrahma, Vlasic, Antonio, Lanzini, Fornals. These guys are not doing what they need to be doing going forward. We're not playing the same sort of attacking in that way, the attacking way that we have been. And I think that's where we're being let down. I don't think we're being let down by the guys at the back. I think we're being let down by the guys at the top end of the pitch. That's my opinion on that one. Rob?
I think it's a bit of both, if I'm being completely honest with you. But then the manager's also got to carry the can because, as I say, who picked Arthur Masuaku at left back? It was the manager. I believe he had better options. I also would like to point out, and Gio mentioned this a little bit earlier, when you look at the substitutes bench, you've got 3 right backs and no centre back. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Like I say, I don't believe for 1 minute that we didn't have a better option than Arthur Masuaku. With all due respect, I think that you could have put, like I say, we had 4 right backs involved yesterday. We had Vladimir Kufel, who started, and you had the 3 guys on the bench in Ryan Fredericks, Harrison Ashby, and Ben Johnson. You're actually telling me that there wasn't one of those 4 that could have put their hand up and gone, I'll go at left back for you, boss. It's not my favoured position, but I'm better than him. Come on.
Listen,
I'd have given Ben Johnson could have done a better job there defensively. He could have done a better job there defensively. Maybe offensively.
Done a better job.
Yeah.
You know, but is it down for the players to turn around and go, boss, don't pick that prick? They're not going to do that, are they? They're not going to turn around and go, boss is shit, don't pick him.
They're not. But that is something that I do put at the door of David Moyes. Like I say, I'm not Moyes out. I'm nowhere near that, but I can criticise him for this. And I think, it's a valid one.
I think he's trying to pick him to prove that he can do the job, or trying to convince us that he can do the job.
That's like putting you at an operating table doing a brain operation and saying, I know he can do it. No, he can't.
I'll have a go.
He's standing there with a fucking meat cleaver, for Christ's sakes. What are you doing?
Brain operation, apparently. I don't know. Rob, your thoughts on the penalty while we're here? Oh, hello, you've disappeared. Yeah, let me leave that for a minute.
That's fine. The people at home are actually pretty comfortable with that view of me. I'll be honest. I think it's a penalty. Because look, if we flip it the other way, if that's Bednarek on Antonio in the second half, we're all jumping for a penalty, aren't we? Let's not kid ourselves. We're all jumping up for a penalty. The first contact was outside, no problem at all. But there was another contact in the box. Now, whether that was accidental, whether that was maybe sort of like Dawson trying to sort of be a little bit wily and cunning and whatever. I don't know. But let's be honest. If that was the other end of the pitch and that was Bednarek in exactly the same situation with Antonio being the one that's felled in the penalty box, we are all jumping up as one and saying penalty. We are. Let's not piss around. So it's one of those where I don't like it, but in my opinion, I think it's a penalty.
I would agree with you, and it's frustrating as much as it is frustrating. Listen, there's a lot that's being made that the original foul took place outside the box.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't foul him outside the box, Rob. Went shoulder to shoulder, and Dawson lost. It's quite simple. Dawson lost the shoulder to shoulder outside the box because he was stronger. Okay, and what happened was he was falling. Now, if Dawson had just gone down and gone bollocks, have a free run, but he didn't. He kind of stumbled. The actual contact for the foul took place inside the box. He fell into him, took him down. It's inside the box. He brought him down inside the box. Listen, if that was the other way round, as you said there, I'd be furious if we didn't get a pen. Okay, he's running with him, and he lost the shoulder to shoulder. The initial challenge was a shoulder to shoulder, and Dawson lost that. He was out muscled, which then meant he lost his balance, which meant that he was falling. Now, if he'd just fallen and grabbed his ankles outside the box, he gets a yellow card. It's a free kick. right? He didn't. He tried to stay up, tried to stay up, tried to stay up. Because he's trying to stay up, he's taken 3 or 4 extra steps, which has got him onto the line of the box, onto the white line, where he then falls into him on the line. Guess what? That's a penalty. It's a penalty, quite clear. The initial contact wasn't a foul. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder fair tackle, which he lost. It's that simple. It's that simple. The foul that everyone's claiming was a foul wasn't a foul outside the box. Dawson lost a shoulder-to-shoulder. He wasn't strong enough, which then caused him to stumble onto the edge of the box, right on the white line when he starts to fall into him and wipes him out as he takes a step into the penalty area. Penalty. Straightforward, quite simple. It's as easy as that. I don't know. People are in the chat. You know, Ian's saying that the first point of contact was
it was
outside the box,
not the second.
But it wasn't a foul outside the box. It was shoulder to shoulder. If a foul had been given, if a foul had been given, let's forget the penalty, okay? And Peter's saying that the penalty was for a foul outside the box when the guy fell over. No, listen, if he'd gone shoulder to shoulder with Dawson outside the box, and Dawson goes down, and we get a free kick, we're going, hey. If it's the other way around at the other end of the pitch, and they go shoulder to shoulder and Bednarak goes down, for instance, in a challenge with Antonio like that, we're going, why the fuck is that free kick? It's shoulder to shoulder. It's a fair challenge. So the referee has done the right thing. It's a shoulder to shoulder. It's a fair shoulder to shoulder challenge. It's just that he wasn't as strong. He fell into Dawson inside the box. No, Dawson's laying on the floor, mate, and falling into him like so. They literally, as Dawson's going down, he's into his legs and taking him out. It's on the edge of the box. If it's on the white line, it's a penalty.
We can argue it till the cows come home, you know, and we can all have our opinions on it, and I respect Ian's opinion. And I'm not saying I'm right, but
Ian's spot on there.
Yeah.
Dawson in that
but the one person that matters is the guy that, you know, the guy that's officiating. So what we all think is kind of irrelevant.
There you go, Kieran. Penalty or not, it's not why we lost the game. And you know what? We could argue that toss over and over again. It's unfortunate. Listen, at the end of the day,
we were naive.
Good enough.
We were naive, and you can argue all you want about. Yeah, and I appreciate that. You know, that wasn't our first strength back four. I understand that.
Still Premier League players, though, Rob, aren't they?
But yeah, exactly. But listen, we got to wipe our mouth. We got to sort of dust ourselves down because we got a game tomorrow. I mean, this is the thing. We're in a stage of the season where there's a really quick turnaround of performance, and we can't sit there and whine and piss and gnash our teeth and all the rest of it. No one's going to feel sorry for us. We just got to get on with it. But this game at Vicarage Road is absolutely. It takes on an even greater significance because we're going to do it without our captain, without our leader, without our standard bearer, because obviously Declan Rice got a booking, and that now puts him over the 5 bookings threshold, so he will not be available tomorrow.
Listen, tomorrow is now a whole new ball game.
Yeah,
there's so much more riding on it now, and I, for one, am worried, Rob. I, for one, am worried. You know, we got one more game in this calendar year. We need to sign off with a win. We have
agreed.
To. Listen, we are now 1 win in 7. I think you said we haven't picked up enough in the last 6 games. It's been painful to watch. We have to now have we have to have a serious sit down talk, and I'm not saying they need to go into the changing rooms or into training or whatever, you know, today, tomorrow, however they're going to work it, considering there's no break time between the games, without going rah to a man. They have to sit down and have this conversation where boys, this ain't fucking good enough.
I think they need to go in to Rush Green. I think they all need to sit down. And I think they need to watch yesterday's match. And I think they need to be really honest with each other. And it's not about apportioning blame. It's about learning lessons and making sure that you put into practice as soon as is possible. So ideally by the Watford game, and ironing out the kinks, ironing out the flaws that have crept into our play.
Ironing out? Do you mean
Yeah.
like iron out?
No.
Like,
no. Well, that would be quite tempting, you know. Oh, he's not available for the Watford game. What happened? Somebody broke his jaw in the training sort of like area,
over at Rush Green's.
But no, we like I say, they need to sit down and they need to watch that game again and be really honest and not be sitting there, which unfortunately human nature is that way, that, you know, you're always going to try and blame the next guy. Oh, it wasn't my fault, it was him, and it wasn't my fault, it was them. And, you know, listen, if that goal is your fault, put your hand up and own it. Yeah? Don't sort of like try and pussy out of it. Be honest and take it on the chin, learn lessons. And if you can't learn the lessons, and if you can't implement a strategy that your manager is giving you, then you've got to step aside and you've got to let the next guy have a go.
Listen, they need to stand up to a man and be counted now. Now's where it needs to count.
Yeah.
Now is where they need to stand up and they need to be counted as a man. You know, where's the comment I saw? Where is it? Because I'll tell you what, there is a thing where we can star this. And Kieran asked the question, if Noble don't play, who's captain?
Well, I think it's fairly certain Noble will play. But in answer to the question, if Noble doesn't play, probably it's going to be Fabianski.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'll give it to Thomas Soucek.
No, the question was who would I give it to, but who is the captain, i.e. who does David Moyes pick?
Who would you give it to?
Right. If I was giving the captaincy out, do you know who I'd probably give it to? Jared Bowen. Why not? Why not? He's been one of our star players this season, so why not?
No, that's fair point.
But I think he would give it to Fabianski.
Probably. Trod says tomorrow and Gaki at school. Well,
probably.
He can get on the pitch. As Ian says there, players a team, winners a team, losers a team.
Yep.
Win, lose or draw tomorrow. Once that's done, move on. We know January's around the corner. We know that the transfer window's opening, and we'll do something on that, Rob, once you're back off of your jaunt. I'm going to stick the nuggets up because I've gone through all the rest of it. You got 3 nuggets for us that you quite nicely prepared while you've been away, which I appreciate. Let me get rid of Ian's comment. If I can press the right button.
It's nothing personal, Ian. He's not doing it to be nasty or anything.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
This is what happened when I leave you in charge of buttons.
Cyber, I'll come back to your comment in a minute. I see it. I'll read your comment. So West Ham suffered their first home defeat against an opponent starting the day in the bottom half of the Premier League table since December 2019. A 3-1 loss to Arsenal, ending a run of 18 games without this type of defeat.
Not good. Next one's got to be better, innit?
You'd hope so. It's you. So I don't know.
Listen, I only find these little nuggets. I don't sort of create them.
Oh, no, it's not good. Southampton picked up their first Premier League win over West Ham since August 2017, also a 3-2 win, ending a run of 8 meetings without beating them in the competition. Drawn 2, lost 6. In fact, they scored more goals yesterday than they had in any of their previous 8 games combined.
Never mind.
You know, it wasn't better, Rob. It wasn't better. And then the last
maybe
one,
the next one.
Since winning 4 consecutive Premier League games between late October and early November, West Ham have only managed to win 1 of their last 7 in the competition. Cheers, Rob.
It's all a bit shit, really, isn't it?
But then it just goes with a shit game. Let's not dick around. It wasn't pretty.
But we got to turn it round quick. We got to find the answers.
So on that note, I'm going to quickly cover Cyber's comment. I think Cyber wants me to do this one. Lucky the Antonio goal was given on the bright side. Plus Benny done good. Second half, don't understand why Yama come on. Did nothing but run around like the fool, like Bender from Futurama. Listen, there was a point right at the very end where all he had to do was put the ball into the box, and the ball ended up in the stands behind the goal because he kept trying to force himself onto his left foot, and it was just shit.
I know that Yarmolenko is a player that internationally has an awful lot of repute, and I know he's someone that in Germany is seen as an excellent player from his time for Dortmund. I just don't get it. I just don't get it with him. I would have rather put Harrison Ashby at right wing. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. But exactly that, Ian. Yeah, we are still 6th and not fighting relegation, and I don't see that at any point we will be. But unfortunately, it's the old saying, isn't it? Winning's a habit, and unfortunately, so is losing. And at the minute, we seem to be developing the latter as a habit, and we need to snap out of it because we will go from being 6th currently to 7th to 8th to 9th, and the season will peter out. And it could be that we hit game 38 and we look at it and go, that was a season that promised so much, and it all fizzled out. And I don't want it to be like that. If we're going to look back, let's look back and look at a season of achievement like we did last season, and not look at a season of, where it could have been better than it was, but it sort of all petered out and it was a bit crap at the end.
But we've still got plenty of games to play, Rob. And
we
need to focus on that now, and as Ian says, get tomorrow out of the way. Focus on the January transfer window. Let's see what we bring in. Mr. Kretinsky needs to take off those Clark Kent sunglasses and start to look a bit more like Superman than his alter ego. But that being said, listen, at the end of the day, boys, we're still top 6, as Ian said. Just on
that, seriously, right? Because we was talking superheroes the other day. Isn't that the worst disguise of any superhero going?
Yes and no. Yes and no, and I'll tell you why. Because Green Lantern is just as bad, same as Robin. What's that going to do? Really? Like,
I suppose.
It's essentially the reversal of Clark Kent. The Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and take your pick from Damien, Tim Drake, Jason Todd,
Damien
Wayne, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. Any of the guys that played Robin or Nightwing, for that matter, is just a reverse of Clark Kent. Clark Kent takes his glasses off to give him a new disguise. These guys literally put on a set of facing like glasses, Anyway. But yes, shit.
Just do what Tony Stark did. Yeah, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah, bollocks to it. Just cover some last questions in the thing. Cyber says, is the game still going ahead tomorrow? I don't know. I'll get my magic 8-ball and ask. It might just say, hopefully. As Andy says, this is our dip and we go again. Yeah, you know what? At least it's not a season-long dip. To be fair,
it's probably the longest dip that we've had under David Moyes, isn't it? Though,
yeah,
because most of our dips have been like maybe 2 or 3 games, and then we managed to get a couple of results that we string together. This is quite concerning.
But it's a dip, and everyone goes through it. As someone mentioned earlier, Van Dijk being out, Liverpool had their dip. you know, it is what it is. We will bounce back. We will come back from it, and we will go again. I don't doubt that. Ian, where do you think we'll finish? I think we're going to finish, you know, between where we are, you know, sixth to sixth, seventh, eighth. I think we can finish there.
Ask me February the 1st.
Oh.
Ask me February the 1st. I think the transfer window will determine how I can answer that question, because if we went out and we did, you know, got in a centre back, left back, and a striker, and I'm talking a striker, not an attacking midfielder, a striker. Then I think my glass would be more half full than half empty on that one.
Yeah.
But that's for me what will determine it. The transfer window. If on February the 1st we're looking and going, well, what happened? Where were the incomings that we were sort of like alluded were coming? That might make me go 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah, the Trojans turned around and said, league doesn't matter as long as we win the Europa League. We qualify for the Champions League. That was your comment before, Rob, wasn't it?
Yep.
Teapot Pixie says that we didn't bring in pace in the window. We're a counter-attacking side with very little pace. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Andy says 6th to 10th as is, once it works, because it's not working. There we go. Cyber says, what about Daredevil? No, I like Daredevil. Careful now. He fights the best.
Yeah, but you'd never believe that a blind lawyer would be sort of like, you know, zipping from building to building, would you? I mean, that's a pretty good disguise.
He's actually got more superpowers than Batman does.
Everyone's got more superpowers than Batman.
Listen, same as Iron Man. I just want to point out that someone cosplaying Batman has the same superpowers as Batman being Batman. That's all I'm saying. Kieran says, if we don't play Crowd, do you think it's pointless having him there?
Oh, well, we said that about Craig Dawson, didn't we? Basically a year ago, because he'd come in on loan, didn't kick a ball, and then he got his opportunity and off he went. Could it be that Declan Rice's yellow card will give Crowell the opportunity against Watford? I'm not suggesting for one moment that when Rice returns that Crowell keeps Rice out of the team, but could it be that Crowell maybe puts in a performance that forces David Moyes to maybe play a 3-man midfield with Crowell at the base and the other two either side of him?
Yeah, listen, do we still have the option to buy Crowell? Cyber says, is that?
Would have thought so.
Is that down to amount of games played, do you reckon? Or is that just going to be an option?
Probably, but I mean, even then, I suppose if you, let's say you fell short by maybe one match, maybe let's say you turned around and said, 20 matches in all competitions. And from here on in, let's say Crowell did get his opportunity against Watford and Crowell grabbed it and ran with it. He could still maybe get those 20-25 matches if we went deep in the FA Cup, if we went deep in the Europa League and he played the next 19 Premier League games. And even if he fell short by one, you know, if he really impressed David Moyes in that time, I think that David Moyes would still turn around and say, do you know what, stuff it, pay the money, get him in.
It's another good body that can play a position that we're going to need if we end up with an injury. Let's be honest. Look what's happened at the back. Only takes the injury to completely screw it out. And if you haven't got that option in there, what you got? Got Noble. No disrespect to Noble. He's a 45-minute man now, isn't he? If that, you know. So you've got to have the bodies there. Mark says, whilst we're 6, we've got to view 7th, 8th, and 9th as the relegation places, as we need Europe again next season. I think a club our size and our type.
Do we keep Rice if we finish 8th?
No. Quite simply put for you. Ian says, if we don't have a good window, the GSB out will be back on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Damn right. It's not gone away. It's just gone a bit quiet because we're getting behind the team again. But if we don't have a good window and we don't have a good January, shall we say, then yeah, without a doubt, their voices will become louder and louder.
And rightly so.
Again. Without a doubt. Trudge says Batman's got a better rubber suit. I'm not going to go into that one for you, mate.
Let's leave rubber alone, shall we? It's too early.
Cyber says, what about Deadpool? He's better than Maul. I want to ask you this question, Rob. Well, it's not even a question, Rob. I want to put this statement to you about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
They can't be circumcised.
I suppose they can't, can they? Yeah, grow back. Yeah.
There's one for
so it'd be really, really, really problematic if they were Jewish.
Right. Just saying. Just wanted to put that one out there that, you know, if they were to have the operation, it'd grow back.
Unless, of course, they had the circumcision operation done before they got the regenerating factor.
But yeah, I suppose.
Would it still, you know, if they had it chopped off their Hampton when they were sort of like a little tiddler, and then they got the regenerative factor when they were in their sort of 20s, I mean, would it grow back then? Surely not.
What a conversation to be had. What a conversation.
You don't get this on Hammers Chat, do you, peeps?
Not at all. Not at all. Cyber, the Lewisham one, yes, I'm open on Sunday, mate, if you want to pop up. I will be there from Wednesday, and then I start there. What else we got? Kieran says, "Night, chaps." Good night, Kieran. Thank you for joining.
We're doing really well in the cricket, I see. Oh, hang on. No, that was in a dream, wasn't it?
I think it was, mate. Yeah. Peter says, "Moyes is the best manager we've had for a fair while, but dipping from match later and he lays on his shoulders." I'm guessing that's what that means.
Absolutely, but I mean, right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? And this is me being really serious. I mean, all the people that are saying Moyes out, Duke, who do they actually think we're going to get in? That's going to be that we could realistically attract, we could realistically afford, and that would do a better job than the guy that we've got in. I actually heard someone say Zinedine Zidane, and I just went, "Oh, really? A 3-time European Champions League winner, a World Cup winning player, and you actually think that he's going to come into West Ham United and become our manager?" I mean, I'd love it, don't get me wrong, but come on.
He turned United down, didn't he? So what makes you think he's going to come to us?
Exactly. I was like, "Oh, behave yourself."
I just hope the way we're playing doesn't affect the players coming in, giving them second thought. Listen.
It will.
You got to throw the money, though, haven't you? Cyber, I'd sell Rice to City. They'll probably play us 70 million because replacement for Fernandinho. I wouldn't let him go for less than 100.
70 million. He's worth more than that, mate.
Trudge even questions that. You take 70 million for Rice. I wouldn't even listen.
He's a free figure player, mate.
I wouldn't listen. If Jack Grealish has gone for 100 million, I want 110, 120 for Declan Rice quite comfortably. Andy says, "If you had grow back ability, would you get a massive upgrade? If so, I'm going to go find myself that ability." Ken says, "I don't think we keep Rice. I don't think it'll matter how much the club offer for him. He will be off because the money don't matter to him. From the impression I get, I'm Moyes in. He's done a great job. We just need bodies."
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, obviously the money isn't sort of like, I mean, obviously it's important to a point, but if money were the be all and the end all with Declan Rice, he'd have signed the contracts that he's been offered, which would have improved his money
tenfold. Yeah, exactly. Pete, Moyes is the best manager we've had for a fair while. The form made down to our injuries. Yeah, you're right. It's team selection, and we certainly wouldn't have picked Masuaku, would we? Let's be honest. Just need to do with what Leicester did with Maguire. We always get robbed. Kent says Rice is worth 150. Listen, he's worth more than that. He's worth more than that.
He's worth more than that to us,
to our club. Yes, but we'd probably end up getting about 110, 115, 120 probably. I'm happy to give him 3 more years. Patience is a virtue, indeed. Cyber says I'll take Ollie McBurney from Sheffield United as a striker.
He didn't really pull up any trees last time he was in the Premier League at Cyber.
Who was the Liverpool lad?
Not for me.
Who was the Liverpool lad?
Rhian Brewster.
Yeah,
he's gone there and done nothing.
And then Andy says, I can't see Rice staying. He's heads and shoulders above it. He's heads and shoulders above most players in the Premier League.
I said it earlier on a chat that I was with Walshy on about an hour or two ago with Hammer's chat, and I turned around and said Declan Rice isn't just a big fish in a small pond. He's a whale in a teardrop.
Hey, great analogy.
I can't own that one. Do you know who owns it?
Go on.
The Rock.
Was he talking about Declan Rice when he said it?
No, he was talking about himself. He turned around and said that he wasn't just when he made a return to WWE some years ago, and he turned around and said that, you know, The Rock is not just a big fish in a small pond. I am a whale in a teardrop. If you smell like that, yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, at what point? Like, I can't. What? It's going to have to be some sort of mutiny within this. I've got to get rid of him. I can't. Like, seriously, I'm going to have to kick him out. You know, I'm going to hold a poll on the next video we do whether you'd like to see Gatesy return. He can return for this though, because this is his bit.
I couldn't resist him, mate. I'm sorry.
I can't deal with you sometimes. I really can't. Right,
listen. You've always wanted to do a rock impression. I know you've always wanted to do a rock impression when you've been live on a stream. I can see it in your eyes.
Look at what Trod says. You deserved it, right? Trod is right.
You're just jealous.
Shut up, and I'll kick you out again.
Guys, this is in the description below, YouTube and Facebook. You know the story with Isla. Her family need help. She needs help. You know the crack with her. The news that was given a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now with her. It's obviously taken a little bit of a negative turn, but be that as it may, we still want to try and give as much as we can to this little girl. So she was obviously named in the program yesterday. I think you might have seen this, Duke. She was number 12 in the squad list, and yeah, let's try and do a little bit of good, guys. So as I say, it's in the description below, YouTube and Facebook, in the description line. You can copy and paste this and put it onto your social media platforms. If you've got a few bob in your pocket, you've got a Just Giving link there. As we always say, guys, no donation is too small. Give as generously as you can. And as always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support on this matter.
Have to say, right, it looks like she was given the Christmases beyond all Christmases. If you've seen the Facebook Live stuff that Nicola's been putting out, she looked like she had the Christmases to be all Christmases. And I'll be honest with you, after what was announced before Christmas, that what was said about her being lucky and stuff, I'm really pleased that she got to Christmas. I really am that kind of, and she had a great Christmas as well. So props to everyone out there that donated. Props to Nicola for everything she does for that little girl. Props to West Ham as well for the I put something out there yesterday about the fact that I love my club. That was an amazing touch, and long may that continue, that she sticks as number 12 on the team sheet. I'd love to see the club keep that going for as long as is possible, to be honest with you. So, and as Cyber says there, much respect to the Saints fans for clapping Isla yesterday as well. It was a great touch. There was a lot of One Isla Caton songs that were ringing around the London Stadium yesterday, which was that was really nice to hear. So everyone that went yesterday, fair play to you. I wasn't there, Cyber, yesterday. No, I had to stick with travelling to France to be able to watch it on my laptop. Guys, thank you very much.
You were lucky. I got an Israeli feed. It was awful.
That's unfortunate.
It was, because every time there was a goal that happened at the Etihad. No, there was. Every time there was a goal involving Man City game, Arsenal game, or Tottenham's game, they wouldn't, you know, sort of like when you're watching it and sort of like they'll sometimes do sort of like two sort of like feeds side by side sort of thing. So you don't miss anything of the match you're actually watching and you get to see a goal somewhere else sort of thing. Oh no, they just basically pissed off from London Stadium and they'd stay at the Etihad or whatever for about a good 3 minutes. And then you'd go back and you'd missed a goal at the London Stadium. I'm like, yeah, thanks.
The way it was going yesterday, I would have been quite grateful not to have had them. Happy's rocked up right at the very end. She says,
timekeeping terrible.
Well, listen, Gatesy says, "Oh, have you finished?" Well, Gatesy, just quickly, what time did you set this stream to go out for? 11,
I thought.
Yeah, what 11? What? There are 2 11 o'clocks in the day. What time did you set it to go out for, Rob? Just curious, if I may ask.
I am on my holiday.
Rob did set the stream and all of the Facebook stuff and the Twitter stuff. That did state that the stream was going out at 11 p.m. this evening. I may have done this. No, there's no may about it, Rob. You did do it.
Okay.
But I forgive you because you're on you're on holiday. What do you mean you're in a notorious gang? Happy. What's the notorious gang? Oh, are you COVID? Have you been?
No.
Or are we thinking? So am I thinking too much into this? With let me know. Oh, you're the COVID crew. She is.
COVID crew.
Happy. I hope it doesn't hit you too badly.
Not good.
But that being said, it means you can be around for all the videos now. I'll just make sure Im over there puts it at the right time so you can join us when we start and not
all the times I've got it right, and I've never ever been thanked for that. One time I get it wrong. Oh my god.
Yeah,
oh no.
And then that's never good. But then Joe pipes up, Gatesy, that I can't talk. I was the one that missed the intro video. Listen, woman,
Cheers, Joe.
The intro video did go on. It just went on after we started. So don't come in here with your attitude and your laughing faces. All right, you hush your noise. Otherwise, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Rob, because I can.
You're not going to ban her, are you?
There it is. Put user in timeout. There we go. Right, she's gone into timeout for 5 minutes.
What you mean the intro video? That one.
I was dancing. Do you have to? So that being said, Rob, what time do you want to do a preview show for tomorrow?
Yeah, why not?
Preview show. Do you want to do it tonight or do you want to do it tomorrow?
Do it tonight. I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna go out and stretch my legs and have a little wander down by the beach and maybe even see some seals. I've got a load of seals around this part of the world.
Gatesy, I need you to do me a favour.
What's that, mate?
I hate it, but I've got...
Oh God. Well,
I'll tell you what. Will this make it any easier for you, Rob? Hang on. No, I can't. I can only mute you. I can't turn your camera.
Oh, hang on. What you mean? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let me just.
He's on his phone. It's take forever.
Yeah, no, it's all a bit. Hang on.
Wake me up.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that you've got the COVID, Happy. But you'll be back soon, and a happy new year. Like that, yeah.
Oh, Happy. I hope you're happy because I just want to cry in a corner. Cyber says she's going to give me a beating. She does that anyway, mate. It's just part and parcel. Got your budging. It looked like a walrus in the water. Let's be honest. Cyber says, Gatesy, when you're back.
2nd of January.
And Trudge has come up with the best one. Is we need to find a green screen filter for that, just so it just comes over the top of your head. That's how we do it. Listen, guys. Yeah, Gatesy, what time tonight do you want to do the show?
8-ish.
Trudge, the concerning thing is, mate. Yeah, you're right. It was. Not that it could have been any worse. What time?
I could do my Ric Flair impression if you like.
No, let's just leave it alone now.
Limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun.
Woo! Anyway, right.
Oh yeah, I didn't do that bit, did I?
No, I did it for you. Right, just
Thank
ban
you.
him. Dude. Yeah, you know what, Andy? I'm very tempted. Happy says thank you. Pete says I haven't got COVID, but it's bloody cheered me up. So what time? 8 o'clock.
There or thereabouts.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. We'll probably go live again about 8 o'clock tonight. You know what? Try.
Duke still pressing buttons. Oh, behave.
Oh, thanks. You loved it, really. Yeah, we'll be back at about between 8 and 8:30 this evening. We'll do the Watford thing. I don't think we can cyber, unfortunately. I think we've left it a little bit too late, and Rob normally takes care of all that, and he's on holiday, so no is the answer. That's all I got, really. Guys, please, quick, I can do it if I remember. What one is it? It's that one. Is it that one? Rob. Rob, what am I doing?
I've got no idea.
Mate, I don't even know.
I'm in a broom cupboard somewhere on the West Norfolk coast.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, jingle the bell to be notified of when me and Rob do any more of this this dodgy rubbish that we do. I have to press it again, don't I, to get rid of it. Say, look at that, I'm learning.
It's getting there.
Watching and learning, Linda. Watching and learning. I take over this lovely place on Wednesday. So if any of you want to be about for the weekend, if you're not going to any of the games, yeah, I'll see you. I can do that as well. Look. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Hang on. There we go. Woo. That place there. I'm taking over that gaff. Stop it. On Wednesday. So if you want to come down and see me and say hello, please do. I've got a lot of work to do.
Lewisham territory, though, isn't it? It's Millwall country.
No, it's more Charlton. But hey ho. Happy you too. I hope, like I say, COVID doesn't hit you too much. Cyber, we might do that for next time because I haven't got a lot of time to be able to ask a lot of questions. I've got family coming over.
Is that like a date, Cyber? Are you going to sort us out a date?
Casey, why does your mind have to go there all the time?
Well, you just say he's going to hook us up. I don't know. I'm just checking.
You're married and I'm practically married. That's not lie. Right. Is this right? Mate, I don't know what I'm doing here. What one is? No, don't shake your head at me. Right, that's just a picture, isn't it? So yes. We don't want that one. You could do.
We could just talk over it.
Yeah, we do. I don't like that. Cyber says maybe if you want to date. Guys and girls, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and share and comment and all the rest of that rubbish. You know the drill. I'm going to press the right button and we will see you between 8 and 8:30 this evening. I believe we're fucking massive. Rob, what have you got to say?
Come on, you irons.
Take care, guys.